Here, I'm gonna open it up on my laptop so I can.
Great. Hello, hello. Hope you all enjoyed the intro screen. Yeah, but welcome folks in. We're gonna be playing some Jarl today. I've kind of got a couple ideas for today's Jarl list that I kind of want to talk about. But yeah, this is gonna be the kind of like B&R waiting room. Let's go ahead and refresh and just make sure there's nothing here. But normally like the B&R is around like 3-ish. At least I've seen from like the past couple B&Rs. So it's like probably gonna be like around 3 or 4. So basically, we're just gonna be waiting until then, playing a little bit of Jarl. But yeah, we'll kind of check back on the article stream, and you can all like tag me in chat and stuff. Okay, but yeah, let's talk about today's Jarl list. So this is kind of like I'm trying to think of like a hybrid style Jarl list, basically between like the Earth Jarl and also kind of like the kind of like more fatigue oriented Jarl. So this is kind of like my initial idea for it. We're still running like a lot of the good Earth cards, but it's basically going to be like a very kind of like fatigue package. And we're going to try out like the new kind of like headpiece tech, mostly because I'm kind of predicting that there's going to be like maybe a plume ban just to kind of nerf Verdance a little bit. I'm not actually sure if she needs one. But I know that's on some people's radar is like hitting plume as kind of like a way to like limit Verdance like burst potential. So this is what we kind of want to try today. Also gonna be trying out some different things with like AB and stuff and like Midas Touch, but for the most part, just kind of like similar to kind of like Jarl lists of old. Uh, yeah, I'd also like to see HPOC go for Verdance. I think that Rotwood Hammer is interesting. I think that hold on, let's actually do a quick check here. So stats. How do I check? Let's check our Earth count actually, because Redwood actually is kind of an interesting idea. So we have 3 here, we got 3 here, 3 here, 3 here. It says 12 and 5, so we got 15 Earth cards, and then how many 3 or more costs do we have right now? So we have 9 here, we have 12 here, 15, 18. So I think or no, 21. I think we have 21 3 costs. I think the Titan's Fist is a little bit better in this particular version. But yeah, give me in the chat, give me all your kind of like B&R predictions. So I have a couple of my own. So my B&R predictions are personally like Bonds of Agony, and maybe they hit like some of the tipples. I could also see like Loot the Hold as like an interesting ban. There are definitely some interesting ones. I think that if it's no changes, it's gonna be a bit awkward. I don't know. I feel like a lot of people have been kind of a little bit down on like the recent CC meta, mainly just because like it's felt pretty stale, at least from my kind of opinion. I don't know. So I kind of like there to be like a BNR that shakes things up at least a little bit. Like it doesn't have to be like a full on nerf to like Slippy or Gravy or whatever. But I think it would be nice in general just to have like just take a little bit of their power level off, especially when you're taking a new set that's going to be introducing like some Guardians and Brutes. I think that maybe makes a bit of sense. All right, so we got an Ira. First or second Ira? I feel like let's go second. I'm going to try to do more of like a fatigue game plan into her. So the question is, do we want Sledge or not? I think Sledge is kind of interesting into Ira. Maybe not entirely necessary. We can actually just use our Tunic just for the Oasis. I think we're just going to fat deck this. I think we're just bringing everything but the Mice Touch in. Seems fine. Alright, so they're running 65. Old Knocker is interesting. So, like, so when you're thinking about, like, the ban restricted stuff, what I'd like to see is them make a little bit more room for other classes. Because it feels like there are certain classes in the game where it's maybe just like it's kind of like just like why play Guardian when like Assassin exists, that kind of thing. I think that's kind of what I would at least like to see is just a little bit more kind of like variety. I think we're just gonna say no blocks at the edge. All right, Seek Vengeance is pretty good. Let's go ahead and block. Just get a little bit of Earth and Vent. I think I want to hold on to the Root Bound just so we can like start getting some decompose, but we might be forced to use it after this. So not the end of the world. Okay, and we'll just full block here. I think that's fine. They can actually afford to Okana here if they want to. Kind of interested why they didn't. It's basically free, right? Well, we got an Oakenhold on turn 1. Not gonna turn that down. But anyways, what I like to see out of the BNR is them shake things up a little bit, because I feel like it has grown a little bit stale. That's true. Why play Assassin when Betsy exists? You know what's up. I actually kind of like Mantle as a card, and I think Bonds has been around long enough to the point where people are sick of it. So I actually think that Bonds ban, at least that's what I would probably ban. I'd be very surprised if there was no changes, personally. I think that people are kind of sick of the meta right now. Yeah, I think Verdant's like, assuming that Slippy and Gravy go, like Verdant's I think is like the de facto best deck, which is kind of wild. Okay, so we got Everbloom. Okay, this is fine. So what are we doing here? We're going to Everbloom back the E-Strike, and then just play out a Crumble. Could also, what else do we have? I guess we can like Hammer, but I think that's probably low value. Let's do both. Put back the E-Strike, and then you can actually like Gauntlets pitch and just save the Oasis for later. I think that's actually kind of reasonable since we're not on Tuna counter yet. And then we'll put the counter, I guess, on the Okana just to save ourselves a little bit of value. I think this makes sense. Yeah, but Bonds of Agony needs nerf ban Betbeg. I think that's also a strong candidate. We've seen Betsy overperform in recent weeks, so I think that makes sense. Okay, so Edge of Autumn, that's fine. Interesting, pitching a Fate Proceed. I mean, they just have a hand of a bunch of reacts. That also makes sense. Yeah, I feel like they just need, like, what I'd like to see out of the BNR is them to make room for, like, other classes to shine, because it really just does feel like there's not really a good reason to play things that are not Assassin, basically. Things that are not, like, Assassin Gravy, really. Are we just going to... It's kind of awkward. I feel like we might have to give them shelter. I feel like we should maybe just give them shelter here anyways. Yeah, I feel like we're just going to have to shelter this anyways. Alright, they have Empowerment. So I guess we can force the Okana here if we really want to. How much Earth do we have? We have got plenty of Earth. So we'll force the Okana out here, which I think is reasonable. They draw 2, but like I think that's whatever. Get Old Knocker. Oh, for Razor Reflex. Okay. Maybe the block 3 was actually right there. Who knows? But like the block 3 is awkward if they just pump 1. I think we're fine if they're running Razor Reflex just to force through a Whirling Mist Blossom. I don't think that's all that good. I also hate that Shelter from the Storm is in this game. I do not like that. I don't like how D-React heavy the game is. Just my opinion. We'll give 6 here. I think we're just going to pull Tunic and Felling here. That seems fine. I think that Shelter... so it's kind of hard for me to see a lot of the recent cards. Like, I guess, like, what's a good example? Like, Rich is a triple Donnie. It kind of feels like, in terms of, like, mistakes they're making, like, I feel like generic D-Reacts are something that maybe shouldn't be as, like, prevalent in the game. Like, yeah, D-Reacts should not be at generic, I think. Like, if I could, like, go back and tell James White to, like, not print Sync and Fate at, like, generic and just, like, make them Guardian only or something, that'd be kind of interesting. Okay, Scarf for Scar. Oh, interesting. It has, like, the trigger now.
Make him Assassin.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like there's some cards that should just be locked to a certain class identity. Like, Shelter would be really interesting if it was, like, a Guardian-only card. But there's also, like, there's logistical reasons why that's not the case, right? Like, you can't just, like... if it's limited to one class, then it means that like other classes don't get access to tools, yada yada yada. There's definitely like pros and cons to it. I guess we are. Do we even want to shelter this? I feel like we probably just do. Yeah, this is fine. Probably just like E-Strike here. Yeah, Terminate's also an interesting unban. I don't really know exactly. Oh, Vengeance Cerberus. Let's see, Hero Banish you may play it this turn. So they could pump this for 4. So maybe we're actually just going to root bound this. Just so that they don't get to replay it. Yeah, I think generic D-Reacts are fine. It's just like there shouldn't be decks that just run every D-React, I think is my opinion. Get the root bound and crumble, I think can go. And then frozen, I think is fine. Like, I feel like generic D-Reacts are just like so good for what they are. It's like, why would you play anything else, it feels like? I feel like we might just take the turn off and maybe just block with the E-Strike, because I actually kind of want to just like play the Felling of the Crown. Although the Felling of the Crown's like not even that good. I feel like we actually might just cycle, like draw a card or something. I think that might be fine. I think that like there's probably room for just like Sink Below to be a generic D-React. Like maybe that's like the one generic D-React that every class can run, and I think that's fine. It's more so like I think Shelter was like basically seen as like a strict upgrade to Fate Foreseen, or basically like takes the place of Fate Foreseen in a lot of decks. Ooh, that's a nice draw. Also with Jarl, I think in general, so I'm running 2 seeds, so I think the draw mode is actually kind of correct there. Just because, like, even if we don't hit a good arsenal, we can always, like, cycle with the seeds. Yeah, like, I feel like the rest of the Earth cards are actually, like, quite bad. Felling is, like, kind of, like, the only good card you see a lot of Earth decks, like, actually wanting to play. We're actually not doing too bad here. We still have, like, all of our armor. They've got some stuff broken. All right, Edge of Autumn coming in. I think we still just like don't care. Could like quick dodge here if we really wanted to, but I don't think that's necessary. Probably overdue for like a CNC or something here. Okay, just a Sirens. What are we doing against just a Sirens? Probably just block 7, and then we can like Fist plus Fruits. I think that's fine. We can also like Fruits plus Coronet Peak. Is that better? Might actually be better. So like force a card out of them. It's probably better than 3 damage. The Coronet Peak's really interesting. I don't know if this actually works in this kind of style of Jarl. Like, I was trying to basically do a hybrid between like the Jason Rolf style Jarl and like an Earth Jarl. I don't know if I've necessarily cracked the formula though. I think the Coronet Peak is kind of interesting. Let's go ahead and use it here and see what happens. Ooh, 1 Fable per deck limit is actually kind of interesting. So, like, I think there's, like, a rational reason for why there are so many generics in the game, and I think the reason is that printer space is ultimately limited, and they need to up the power level of certain decks. Like, they can't just up the power level of, like, one specific class. Like, they sometimes have to, like, up the power level of, like, defensive strategies as, like, a whole. I think that's why they've done like generic D-Reacts for a pretty decent amount of time. Rolling Mist Blossom, interesting. We're just blocking 3 again, and then if they go for a pump on this, we can just Oasis it. Is that even good? Maybe we just give the Stalagmite here, actually. Yeah, maybe we just like block 5 here. Unless they have another Razor. If they have another Razor, this is fine. So the thing with like Razor Reflex plus like Whirling Mist Blossom is that in general, like you're playing a bad card to support another bad card. All right, so they're gonna try to hit here. So in this case, we can either flex her or we can Oasis, but if we flex her, then they do have the opportunity to Scar Reps. So I think we just Oasis here. We'll also get the full value on it. Yeah, I feel like Shelter was actually like really bad also like the way it was printed in terms of it being like a Majestic. It's a Majestic, right? I'm not making that up, yeah. But anyways, like it being a Majestic is also prohibitively kind of expensive. I don't know what is currently Shelter going for right now. I think we got our playset and then we didn't actually look at what the price is. Yeah, it's Majestic, right? I'm not sure what like Shelter is going for, but I'm pretty sure it's like at least $40-$50, right? All right, double click, that's fine. Just a snatch. Kind of interesting. Part of me just wants to like frozen to death hammer. I could also just like frozen to death in general. We want to do something like this. We could also give up the stalagmite just so that we prevent the Okana if we really want to stop that. But I don't know that we really necessarily care. Interesting. Let's give up the stalagmite. I think that's probably fine. Shelter's 85. Yeah, that sounds about right. I thought like it might go down because people are like speculating on maybe like the new set maybe gets a reprint, but I guess that kind of makes sense. Yeah, Shelter being $85 is criminal. I also don't even think Shelter's that good. Like, how many times, like, especially if you've like watched my content a lot, I majority use the 0 for 4 side of this, like, over anything else. I don't know that we even care about this, by the way. I think we're probably just gonna like sink below this. Could also Oasis it if we really want to. I think both are reasonable. Let's go ahead and use the Oasis just because it's like a little more awkward, I guess. Oh yeah, we'll do the deck tech after the game. Normally I try to start the stream out with like a little kind of like gameplay just while people kind of funnel in, but I'll kind of try to explain at least like a little bit of the logic behind this deck. So I think this deck largely is going to change. So what I'm assuming with this deck is that Plume is probably going to take a hit just because like I think, again, if you like nerf like Slippy and Gravy, I think that by like most people are targeting like Verdance as like the deck to beat after that. So I think it makes sense that given Verdance is getting a new card, like it maybe makes sense that they take down her power level just like a little bit. All right, edge bottom. I think we're just gonna like seeds here. Let's go ahead and just seeds. Yeah, unfortunately this hack got leaked. I don't really want to talk about the leaks and stuff because it feels bad first and foremost, and then also like a lot of creators that got like spoilers for the first time. Like I think it feels bad, especially for them. Like we got a spoiler for the first time. Fortunately, ours I don't think got leaked, but I know like Lupines I think did, and other creators. So I kind of want to like avoid talking about the spoilers as much as possible. Like eventually, once like this stuff starts coming in, we'll kind of like talk about it more. But all right, going for a legacy. Sure. So I think we're just gonna root bound this. Decomp. We'll get the seeds. I think we now just have to get rid of the Everbloom. I probably need to start blocking with their gauntlets, honestly, just so we can clear up a little bit of room. Yeah, but we're still gonna do like our spoiler video and stuff, so I don't know. Our spoiler video is pretty cool. I think that I don't know. It's just like a bad feeling, obviously. Titan's Fist versus Coordinate Peak. I've not been super impressed by the Coordinate Peak, and I guess this style list. Maybe we're gonna just cut that for like Crown of Providence. But I think the idea is like you try to like go to a fatigue state. I feel like we probably need like the fiddler screens to make the peak work still. I don't know. I feel like at this point in the game, maybe just sending Fist to get a card out of them is like better. This nice hand. Yeah, thank you for watching the spoiler videos. I know like people put a lot of work into them, so like we put a decent amount of work into ours. Like we spent basically like an afternoon kind of recording stuff. So we definitely appreciate it. I feel like most content creators probably do appreciate it. I kind of want to just like start getting the block on these gauntlets, but I guess there's still not really a reason to. Oh hey, what's up, Alex? How's it going? All right, we got Torrent of Tempo coming in. I feel like the block here is probably just going to be this plus Sink Below, and if they have like a Razor Reflex or whatever, I don't think we care. Oh, nice, nice, nice. Thank you for also helping us with the spoiler video. Alex has a little cameo, for those of you who don't know. But yeah, we're going to be one of the first spoiler videos, at least in like the release cycle, so that's really cool. Quick dodge. Could quick dodge here to deny a card. I guess like how good is a random IR card? probably pretty decent given what they showed. They seem like they're more of like an aggro style. Maybe we just do give the quick dodge here. I think this is fine. Maybe a little bit low value on the quick dodge, but we're basically getting 2 free block. I think that's a reasonable trade. All right, hit him with the Oaken. Yeah, the whole leak thing is just feels bad, I think. Like, we're kind of lucky that ours didn't get spoiled, but I think that for people who did get spoiled, it's definitely a pretty bad feeling. But I'm still excited for it. Like, I think that, from what I've heard, there are a lot of cool videos people are working on for their spoilers and stuff. Okay, what do we want to do here? Just send a Mangle for 8 and just, like, overpitch a little bit. The Mangle's not really going to do very much. We could also just, like, send the CNC. Maybe we'll pitch the Mangle, actually. Like, overpitch and just send it. Seems like they're running a lot of reacts, or dereacts, so we've seen... So we need 1 of each react still left, so the chances of them holding react are pretty high. Yeah, the fuckwit thing was very funny. That was hilarious. Yeah, our spoiler's pretty neat. We had a fun little video plan, so we're still excited about that. Not entirely sure if we're gonna piss off LSS by doing our spoiler video. I hope not. But I think it's funny. I think they'll appreciate it. All right, so last rolling this blossom. How many razors have we seen? We've seen all 3 razors. They don't have their gauntlets anymore, so like we're playing around another ancestral at most. I think this is fine. Any follow-up here? No follow-up. Okay, seems good. So we can actually pull Tunic here and then just send in Fist again. Yeah, that's how you know it's good. Yeah. No, we're not like actually worried about pissing off LSS. Like I think that what we're doing is not within... It's not outside the realms of things that people have already done, but it is kind of funny. It's funny for... I don't know. I don't want to like spoil it, obviously, but I think they'll get a kick out of it. But thank you for appreciating our channel. We've been doing a lot of pretty good work on it. Tegan's been making the little Zen intro, and that was hilarious. Or like the stream intro. Yeah, yeah. Ethan's video is also quite funny. Okay, so actually might just like pulse here, just like get it out of our arsenal. Could also just like Terrace under them. I feel like we have a lot of good options here. Maybe the best play is just pulse here, and then we can maybe decide to block with like, maybe we're just like hammering this turn. I think that's reasonable. Not super impressed with the Coronet Peak. I think the Coronet Peak makes a lot more sense if you're like just your only game plan is fatigue. But I don't know if you actually have like the density in this style deck. Maybe if you're running Sledge, it makes a bit more sense. I'm still trying to figure out like how exactly we would use it. So in this case, just pitch away, send in the Fist. It's not 2-hour long documentary. I will say that. I think it's only like a minute or so. But yeah, it'll be fun time. Am I hoping for anything spicy on the BNR today? I think that what I'm hoping is not necessarily anything spicy. Here's my overall wish for the BNR, specific cards aside, right? My overall wish is that they just take everything a little bit further down and they just give room for other classes to shine, I think that's like my overall opinion. It's like I think that currently the decks that are at the top are like so far above like what a lot of the decks are doing that it would be cool to see them kind of just take a lot of the more problematic cards out of those decks, or like the problematic like play patterns and stuff like that. That's my overall hope. Like specific cards aside, like I think it's like gravy Gravy's like fine, whatever. Like like even if Gravy takes like a significant hit, he's probably still gonna be like by and large the best deck in the game, right? Like I don't think that they could really do anything to Gravy to make him like super unplayable or anything like that. We probably should have blocked better this turn. What did we block with? We blocked with Sink Blow on the Bittering. That still makes sense. So I guess we'll just give up Gauntlets here. We could also like give up the Fruits plus the Cornet Peak. Can't pump it. Yeah, maybe Cornet Peak's fine to give up. We haven't even used this. Like we used this like one time. I'm gonna cut this card like immediately. The idea was to be kind of like similar to like more Fatigue style Jarl, but I think that maybe that's just better suited to kind of like the more Fatigue oriented list. Thank you, Aggro. I appreciate that. So yeah, overall theme for the BNR is I hope that they give room for other classes to really shine. I don't think that they need to nuke decks out of existence. I think that as long as you just take care of some of the more problematic things decks are doing, I think that the rest of the like, I think just giving room for other classes is what I would say that I want out of the BNR. I think if they do no changes, I think a lot of people are not going to be super happy with that. I don't know. Maybe there's like a logical reason for no changes. I don't think I care about the Seek Vengeance. But yeah, I think just giving room to like decks to shine, I think is what I want. So we should probably block here. I guess the question is like, can we efficiently block? Could actually like block 5 with the equipment. Is giving up Tunic bad? We have one more Oasis in the deck. I think it actually might be fine to give up the Tunic here just so we can force through the Oaken. I think this makes a bit of sense. They could still like snap here and do something, but I don't think we really care. I think that Olympia is one of those heroes that no matter how many cards they print for him, he probably won't be viable. I like hate to say that, but I think that like maybe giving him 4 expansion slots, I don't know about that. Yeah, they need to ban like every other hero. I think that's accurate. Oh, interesting. No direct here. I kind of expected them to have at least one more. They have like at least one Fade, at least one Flick, at least one Sync left. Interesting. I think we are gonna Arsenal the Crumble just because we have still 1 Seeds left, I think. I think we still have 1 Seeds in the deck somewhere. Yeah. Yeah, it's Shiana buff. I agree with that. Shiana needs it, trust me. Alright, there's Sirens at Safe Harbor. This card's like really good. I think we're just gonna block 6 and I think we're just gonna start the Everbloom loop. Seems fine. We should still be expecting like 3 reacts still somewhere in the deck. I think like there's honestly maybe some consideration to rotting. Oh, we don't actually have another Everbloom. Did we banish it? Yeah, we did. Okay, so we have 1 more Everbloom in the deck. We have to be a little bit careful about that. So let's just get our E-Strike back and then send in the hammer. We're at least still forcing a card every turn. I think we're still winning on Fatigue because we still have that Remembrance still. We still have 1 Felling left in the deck. We got some threats. Yeah, I think that the Cornet Peak maybe just doesn't make a ton of sense into Ira. Or maybe you're just using it for block value against Ira. I think in Slippy, where the hand size maybe gets better, maybe that's where it shines. We'll maybe just try it out today. But yeah, this is kind of like a hybrid list. We'll kind of talk about this list a little bit later, but my idea is to kind of have like a hybrid style between like the Earth cards and also kind of like the more Josh, no, not, his name's not Josh Lind. What's his name? Oh, I just had the list open. Let me go back to my deck list. What's his name?
Who?
Jason Rolfe. That's who I was thinking of. But my idea was to basically be like a hybrid style between like the Jason Rolfe style Jarl as well as the kind of more like Earth kind of style Jarl. That was at least my idea. Yeah, go for it. Oh yeah, I think there's a lot of interesting stuff going on in LL right now. It seems like Ira's doing quite well in LL, just because she has like a lot of good aggression. I think Ira might be like one of the decks to beat which is kind of interesting. I think Zen's quite good in LL, but he has like weird consistency issues, and you also get hit by a bunch of like random hate cards. So I don't know. If Zen had like 2 more bonds, he'd obviously be like kind of cracked, but I think he's like okay, like definitely playable. Yeah, Ira's doing well because of the needles. Like Zen was also kind of like doing well because of the needles and the same, like you basically run a similar package. But yeah. Alright, Soul Beat Strike coming in for 5. What do we want to do here? I feel like we're maybe just going to say we're going to eat the damage. They gave us Mask of Momentum too, so we don't have to worry about like the on-hit draw anymore. I feel like the play might just be E-Strike and a Hammer, and then we like Remembrance back some Fellings. We'll take a little bit of damage here, I think it's fine. I did Legacy now. Does this change anything? I don't think it does. They should ban Ira because I dislike her. Hilarious. Alright, just ending on an E-Strike. Alright, draw a card is fine. So we still have those 2 D-Reacts we have to worry about. Oh no, we have, yeah, 2 D-Reacts left. So this is still fine. Still think we're sticking to the original plan. Giving up Tunic, obviously, with the Oasis is a little bit painful. Ooh. Wow, this is going to be a big turn if they have like a CNC or something to follow up. Oh, just a blue Torrent? I guess that's fine. Don't think we're going to change the plan. That's a pretty decent turn, though. I think we're just going to capitalize on this hand to just like put them off cards and then use the Remembrance. So we'll start with the E-Strike, go again. I think there's also maybe an argument to just sending E-Strike, because we're only getting 2 more damage out of this, so maybe like getting the 3 block is like a little bit higher value, but this does push some kind of annoying breakpoints. Because we get the 1 breakpoint here, plus we get the 1 breakpoint on Titan's Fist, so unless they have doubled the react, this gets pretty good. Like if we get 2 cards from him here, that's like a pretty big deal. If they drew like a CNC or something off the top, they're not even running CNC, which is wild. Isn't that like just like the best Ira card? Crazy. Alright, let's check the articles. Make sure nothing updated. I think they normally do it like on the hour. So what time is it right now? Let's go like 30 minutes. Alright, we got 2 cards. Fantastic. Let's Remembrance back the Fellings. And I guess we can get an Oakenold. How many Ice Earth cards do we have left? I guess we have the Crumble in Arsenal plus 1 more in the deck. So I guess 1 Oaken's still fine. Very nice. But yeah, my hope again for the BNR is just give other classes like a little bit more room to catch up, because it feels like just like they can't print enough cards for the new heroes basically to get to where the old heroes are, or get to where I guess like the current top decks are. Seek Vengeance. I think we were gonna leave the Unforgetting in the deck and just block with the CLF here. I think that makes sense. I've been wanting to play a bit of LL recently. I just haven't had like a really good excuse for it, because like all of our local skirmishes were blitz and like crack shuffle play. So I just like never had the real need to like practice LL. But there have been some like people doing well with Zen, which is nice. We found all of our Fellings, which is funny. I guess this is our win con, right? So we get the fruits, and I think we can now banish Felling because we only have the 1 Remembrance, and then just get rid of Mangle. And then we can tuck imposing IP with the Felling. Seems pretty good when you take 4 cards out of your opponent's hand every turn. Yep, seems good. I think we're actually going to IP with the Seeds as well if we can here. Or no, we can't unless we... Yeah, we can't IP with the Seeds because we need to bottom something. So we're going to fruits, add our life total a little bit. Keep the Felling train going. Just a classic, a little Guardian combo of playing Felling 3 times in a row. I don't think anything's like debilitatingly broken right now. I think it's just more so that the decks that are doing well are just like doing well like super far above what other decks can really compete with. So what I'd like to see is just a bit more room for other decks to kind of explore, like maybe like niche kind of like tech and stuff like that, or maybe like there's some matchups that can get a little bit worse for some decks. I don't know. I feel like the things that the top decks are doing, that's kind of nasty. Got 4 here. Don't think we care. Yeah, I'll just don't even really need a block with E-Strike, but it's whatever. Why don't we get back a 7th Felling? I think that seems pretty good. So we'll Sigil both. Get back a nice little Felling. Seems pretty good. It's more so what I like. Nothing I think is like crazy broken to the point where it like absolutely needs to be like nerfed into the ground. Like I think Gravy's probably the closest to that, just because it's like so format warping. But I feel like what the top decks are doing is just like so far and above what a lot of the other decks are doing. So I guess what I'd like to see is just a little bit of like a meta shakeup more than anything, not necessarily like make anything like unplayable or whatever. I think there are some pretty like feels bad play patterns. I think that's also a pretty good point. What are we doing with this Oaken? You just like over pitching or whatever. Also just send the Oaken at this point. Like they're probably low enough where that's fine. You can also just like pitch to Oasis here. Seems reasonable. But yeah, that's what I want out of the BNR is just shake up the meta, make it a little bit more interesting. Oh, can't play Terra Sunder on 0 mana. Yeah, Bonds of Agony, I think, is just a card that's been in the game for too long, and I think people are sick of it. That was a fun one, though. So it just has Scar, E-Strike, Torrent Tempo. Pretty interesting Ira deck. Well, the Fatigue Plan still worked there, so that's nice. So let's do kind of the deck tech. So this is kind of like a hybrid style Jarl I've been trying to work on. That's kind of like a hybrid between the more like Fatigue style Jarl that's running like all the Fiddler screens and the D-Reacts, and more of like an Earth style Jarl. I think that there's some ideas here that I like. Basically, we're kind of just playing all the best of Guardian cards. That's good and stuff. But basically, this is going to be a very D-React heavy package, and as opposed to kind of like the more Jason Rolfe style Jarl, we're basically going to be running like Oasis in place of like Fiddler's Green and some of the other kind of like block cards I think that deck runs. But this is going to be the deck. I've also cut Scar for a Scar because I think that I think Jason kind of like nailed it on the head that a lot of Gravies are kind of being a bit less fatigue conscious right now. At least with like the current builds. I imagine after like the BNR and stuff that maybe shakes it up a little bit. But yeah, it seems like for the most part you don't even need Scars anymore. You can just like kind of play towards your Imposing Visage into Frozen to Death, and that's kind of like the idea here. I also got like Winter Spite just because like it's not really progressing the Fatigue plan, even though it's like pretty disruptive. So that's kind of like the core idea, I guess, with this deck. And we're also trying out some of the interesting kind of like equipment setup from that deck. So we're running like AB4 plus balance, and then we're also running the Coronet Peak just to see if this card performs. I think it's a lot better into like Slippy and decks that are trying to keep a full hand every turn. But against decks that are maybe like you can play off any number of cards, I feel like this card gets a bit worse. Like maybe this just turns into like Crown of Providence or something like that. But that's my idea. I also am predicting kind of maybe a Plume ban just to like hit Verdance a little bit, just because I think if Gravy and Slippy go, she's probably like by and large the best deck. So we're not running Plume in this style of deck just to kind of like prepare for that eventuality. But I think that's kind of like the idea for today. So yeah, let me know if you all have any questions. I'm going to take a little sip here. But this is what we're going to try to play today. All right, any BNR update? Nope. I think it's going to probably be around 30, so basically just hanging out until then. Oh, looks like we got some people playing OpenCC too. Let's see if we can get another one. Play against Akatsu, but I feel like that matchup's pretty good for Earl. All right, we got the Verdance matchup, the painful one. Let's do it. So 84. Give him a good luck, have fun. And I think this is so. Some better Verdances are playing. What's that card called? They're playing. Fuck, I can't remember. Can't remember off the top of my head. It's the Evergreen. That's the card where basically like they basically get a weapon in late game. So that's concerning. All right, I'll show you. All right, if you if I beat this Verdance, I'm gonna hold you to that. You better fucking subscribe. Alright, they're playing Sergeant, though. This is gonna be rough. I think if against Waning Moon, I feel, in general, a bit more confident. So here, what are we gonna do? I think our plan is to just do the IP plan. Like, to not swing into them at all. And then just pass. I have to make them show me the Evergreen, I think. This is gonna be a long one. I think our plan for at least the foreseeable future is to not swing Sledge at all. Alright, say before. Alright, we have Ramp Growth pitched. Let's pitch our Sink Below. Our plan is basically going to be pacifism mode. But yeah, this matchup is like actually cursed. Let's AB4, I guess, with the Sink and the Autumn's Touch in case they end up hitting us with like a CNC or something. Okay, they have the Evergreen. This actually might be like a 0% now. Because if they have the Evergreen plus Surgeon, I don't think there's any realistic way we can win. Because this isn't even an on-hit. We could waste an hour to do this, but I think like if they're playing Evergreen, this strat like just like no longer works basically. I don't know. Chat, let me know if I should play this out, but I think this is like actually 0% if they're on Evergreen plus Surgeon. I think that's like actually unwinnable. And yeah, Burdens is one of those decks where it's like I also think she probably does gatekeep like a lot of the new Guardians, or probably will. But yeah, if they're not running Evergreen, this gets a lot easier. Oh, following up with the Mind Warp. Sure, so that's fine. But basically, our plan is to try to get them to plunk up their deck with the Uriax. Yeah, okay, so I'll play out a couple more turns, but I think we might just like scoop this one up. We'll see if they have H-Pots. I mean, they almost certainly have H-Pots, right? Like, very likely this is going to be a 0%er. Did I even sideboard right? I think I did, right? Just like fat decked. So I guess we'll make him show us it. I don't know. We also basically are trying to shut down the Verdance pings as much as possible. But yeah, the Evergreens basically make this pseudo impossible. Go ahead and just AB1, I guess, with Felling. Go ahead, block. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I'm like debating leaving this because I think that the Evergreen, like if they have multiple Evergreens, this is basically impossible. Oh, they're just doing this though. Interesting. All right. In the interest of content, I think I'm gonna leave. I'll give them a good game, but we'll check their deck list basically. If they have like multiple Evergreens, I think this is actually unwinnable. Let's see. So where's they had one Evergreen? Oh, maybe it was just the one. So they are on H-Pots. Maybe it's just the one Evergreen. Interesting. Normally I see like multiple copies of Evergreen. Interesting. But yeah, oh no, they did have multiple Evergreens. Okay, we were correct to leave this then. Like, I think that Evergreen actually like makes this unwinnable because like you can't just do the blockout strat. Yeah, it feels really bad with the deck we have. All right, let's go ahead and get another. I think they win that basically like 40 minutes later. I think that's reasonable. So anyways, back to the BNR. Also, hello, Mansan. How are you doing? But yeah, basically, what I'm hoping for the BNR is they just give other classes a bit of room. I think that's all I'm asking for. I think the way they do that is they take a little bit away from Gravy, take a little bit away from Slippy, take maybe even a little bit away from Verdance, just because, oh no. give him a good game and leave. But yeah, I think that especially with that setup from Verdance, I don't think you can actually win as Jarl. Even against like normal Verdance, it's very difficult to win. Got another Ira. Do you want to play against another Ira? Give a second. Let's try another Ira. Sure. Let's actually try Sledge this time. No, I still don't think I want Sledge. We actually did fine on Fatigue before then. We'll bring in the fat deck here. So maybe even arguments are running like the Midas Touch just for block value. But we'll run 66. Yeah, I think like H-Pot is largely... Oh man, Santa, you're corporate now? That's so sad. But anyways, I think like H-Pot is one of those cards that just like has... Oh no, we're on Null Rune. Whoops. Alright. Probably should be running... I don't know why it's defaulting to the Null Rune. Oh, maybe because I don't have the quick dodge in the top. Hold on, let me fix that real quick. Let me move the quick dodge up here. Move that to the main deck. Maybe that'll fix it. We'll go back to it. But anyways, I think that like H-Pot is also like... So if you look at like all the top decks, like what the top decks are doing is basically just instead of having like this instant like turn kill combo whatever, what they can basically do is they can just stack like all their burst potential basically on one turn. Like they can have multiple burst turns. KO's actually not a bad matchup for us. Let's bring in the balance, I think. And then I think we're still on the fat deck point. We should probably just like move these to the main deck at this point, right? But anyways, I think like what the best decks in the format are doing right now is they're basically just like they can kill you from like basically a 5-card hand every single time, right? Not all in like one turn, but they can do like multiple back-to-back turns where they're like doing insane burst potential, and or like hand disruption, and or like you can't block this, that kind of thing. So what I'd like to see is them maybe tone a bit of that down, because like I don't think they can actually print like a Guardian or a Brute that can actually like contend with that. That's at least what it feels like to me. It seems like we're running above 60. That's fine. Debating whether or not I want to even like give them the Oaken here. I think we will, just because I think we're also running the Remembrance, right? We should be. I guess I'll just fuel the Decompose. I think that's also fine. But by and large, like what the best decks are doing is they're basically just like setting up really huge burst turns that like other decks just like cannot deal with. So that's kind of like what I would like to see toned down a little bit, is just like the burst potential of other decks. I think we're just gonna slam a Macho here. Kind of low value. And it's also really bad to put these seeds next to each other, but I think that's fine. Oh yeah, Levia is nuts. For sure, for sure. I can definitely see the Levia nerf incoming. Oh, we're getting some equipment here. I don't mind that. I've been playing some Reinar in the League That Means Nothing. That's been a lot of fun.
How did that been going?
Not well. Not well at all. I think I took like a Eugene list from like a while back, and then I just like have been playing that. Ooh, okay, we got double Blood Rush turn. Terrifying. Actually not that bad though. Interesting. Huh. They don't have an agility up. So they need some way to go wide outside of that. Let's get the balance here. Maybe plus an E-Strike. I think we're just going to block out this turn as much as possible. Yeah, but Reiner's been fun in the League That Means Nothing. Sure. Oh, no here as well. Wait, is it the double Beast Within double Blood Rush turn? That's kind of nasty. I guess, like, do they have the way to go wide, though? I guess let's crack balance, like, once we know a bit more info. Alright, they have a Pulping now. Okay, they definitely have the way to go wide. Alright, and then Pulping coming in. I think we will just balance this. Oasis. I don't know if Oasis is actually helpful here. I mean, it's fine. I guess it turns Remembrance into a block. Yeah, I think we're probably just giving up the full hand here. I don't think there's really a reason to use Quick Dodge here. But this could be a painful turn. Block the pulping. I guess there's maybe an argument to taking the damage first so that we get the 1 life off the Oasis. Yeah, it's a bit better. They have another follow-up from Arsenal. We should actually probably just give the Stalagmite here, right? Just so they don't have anything else from Arsenal. I guess they can still, like, crack Sash anyways, but then we get Sash out of them, so maybe that's fine. But if this prevents them from playing, like, a swing big without cracking Sash, I think that's probably worth it. Like, if this Frostbite forces out Sash, I think that's, like, a worthwhile trade. If it doesn't, then I think I'm also fine with that. Like, we're basically just guaranteeing that they're not going 4 wide on a Blood Rush. But this was a sick turn, by the way. Very nasty. Oh, they are going to use the Sash. Okay. So they have, like, a 2-cost in Arsenal. Alright, so I think that was at least, like, a good trade for us. So we take 10... Yeah, we're going to be taking a big hit here, but we do have 2 Blood Rushes out of the way, so maybe I'm not that upset about that. That was pretty sick, though. Double Beast Within, double Blood Rush. Nasty. Maybe Brute's actually good. And we still have Quick Dodge up. I think we're still fine. Took a lot of damage, but they did use like 2 of their power cards there, so. I'd say overall we're still fine. So they are on pulping, so I think there's maybe an incentive to try to hold on to the Sink Below if possible. Stalagmite is interesting. I think we just like double block like this. And maybe just like play out Crumble or block with it. I think both are fine. I feel like blocking is maybe even better if they give us something else to play. But yeah, I think here we'll just Crumble, put on the Bone Breaker just to get a bit of value. Yep, seems good. I'm going to try to save the Sink Below as much as possible just to try to catch him on a pulping if I can. Do still have some CNCs to worry about. I think it should be fine though. Send a Mangle at them too, which is nice. So I think we're going to say no blocks on this, and then maybe just try to block the next thing. Seems fine. Alright, we got 10 minutes maybe until the BNR. This might be a quick game though, given their start. We've had a pretty good set of draws against us. So we take 3, go to 12. Maybe sending the Mangle here is like not even that good. Maybe we're just supposed to like do full block out. I guess in this case, maybe just give him the Macho. That still feels like wrong. I think we're just like no blocking. I'm assuming they have some follow up here, right? If they don't have follow up, then I guess that's good for us. May should be using the gauntlets too. Thick Hide Hunter. Crazy. Alright, so we didn't have to worry about CNC, but I guess it still works out for us. Get to send 8, maybe force a card out of hand. Because otherwise they'll basically lose their scabs. Or no, they would lose their scabs unless they give us a card. So I think it still makes sense. Yeah, but I think the burst potential in the game, like currently, this is not even from like the KO just got lucky. That's whatever. But like I think that like the top decks right now, one of which is not KO. Oh, they're gonna No Fear. I guess that's pretty good. Sure. Is it better to just like play out another Crumble here if they do that? What did they banish? Oh, it doesn't show me. Crap. I think I passed through it. If anyone saw, let me know. I almost wonder if like just playing out the Crumble here is like better. Because like the Mangle doesn't do anything, right? I guess so. Change of plans. Just put on the Flesh Bag. I guess it's fine. There's the pulping. Oh, it was 2 cent packings and a pulping. Fascinating. So we don't have Decompose currently. So ideal scenarios, we're able to cycle to a blue. If we don't cycle to a blue, good beats, I guess. That's fine. I'm predicting the bans are going to be in like a couple minutes here, but they could also be like a little bit later. Ooh, blue is fantastic here. So now I can root bound. You do everything. We will decompose here just because we have the felling in hand, obviously. And then just get rid of Macho. I think that's fine. Alright. We gotta hold at 12. It's definitely doable. I mean, we still have a ton of armor to work with, too. We're sending a felling here. I think we got some good stuff going on for us. If we somehow manage to beat the double Blood Rush, double Beast Within, that'll be sick. For what it's worth, I do think this is, like, kind of Jarl favored. I think. Yeah, I think the ban restricted is going to be like anytime in the next like 2 hours or so. That's kind of why I scheduled the. Oh, we have all of our crumbles in the graveyard. That's actually not that good. I think it's going to be anytime in the next like hour or two. So we're going to stream basically until then. But my predictions for the BNR are probably like Bonds. I could see Plume going. I could see Gravy taking a hit in some capacity. The problem with Gravy, so Gravy's interesting. Like, I don't know. I think that they could, like, there are a lot of cards you can ban from Gravy that like will affect different things versus like what they're trying to target. Ooh, Beast Within, interesting. Okay, Savage Beatdown as well. I think that like Gravy has a lot of interesting room for bans. I think you're just gonna like double Everbloom, right? It's probably fine. Kind of low value. So they have a Savage Beatdown in the arsenal. It's pretty good. Yeah, but we'll see if the BNR hits. I'll probably, if BNR ends up coming up in a second here, I'll probably switch back and forth between the game. Hopefully it's not too jarring for people. But we'll go ahead and do both here, and then we can give him another Blood Rush if we want to. I think we'd probably rather just put the Everbloom back, maybe. Swell is like an interesting ban, because I feel like Swell, I don't know if it actually gets to the root of like what the Gravy problem is. It kind of does, I guess. This might be our excuse to use Quick Dodge this turn. Say Pack Hunt first. Do you want a Sigil here? I guess the Sigil doesn't even matter, right? We know they have a Savage Beatdown. That's fine. They didn't discard a 6 this turn, so they can't play the Savage Beatdown yet. So I think in this case, maybe we could also just like go for the Quick Dodge here. I think the Quick Dodge is semi-reasonable. Let's just go for the Quick Dodge here. Them hitting the CNC there is a little unfortunate. But yeah, I do predict that Gravy is going to take at least something away from him, right? Like, I feel like he's not even necessarily like the best deck ever. It's just more so he just like warps a ton of the format. I feel like for that reason, he should probably still eat something. The Bear Fangs here. Yeah, that's fine. They don't have an agility set up at least, which is nice. Yeah, the Swell Band definitely will not let him go as wide. My concern with the Swell Band is he just has like other ways to do Swell, kind of. I guess if it's Blue Swell, that does make a bit of sense. But if it's just like Red Swell or whatever, I think they probably just wanted to do an Agile Wind up there, I imagine. So they are running some number of No Fear, so if we can catch them on hand, that's like kind of awkward. Maybe we can capitalize on that. I think we're just gonna go for the blockout strat. Ooh, they have a Mighty Wind up here. Interesting. They want to play the Mighty Wind up instead of using it on their turn. Weird. Alright, we need to dodge a CNC here. We've not seen any CNCs. Oh, I feel like we're overdue. Oh, there's a Savage Beatdown, though. So this one doesn't have Intimidate, so we actually, like, full block this, basically, right? Wow, this is a very not Savage Beatdown. Or, sorry, we shouldn't give the tune counter here. We should pass reacts and then just dump our whole hand. That's pretty fun. For like the long-term health of the game, I think it would also be interesting for them to. Oh, we. I did not mean to cycle the sync flow there, but I guess it's fine. For the long-term health of the game, I kind of hope that they do something about like the D-React situation as well, but I don't think that that's going to be a part of the span. I feel like that's probably going to be like later on. Ban all swells would be interesting. I think that's actually not a terrible idea. All right, we got 1 minute till the BNR. Let's see. Let's refresh. September 2nd? Wait, is this it? Oh, we got it. All right, they put the wrong date on it, which is funny. We got Bonds Vanity, Red Tipple, Yellow Tipple, Plume, Talk a Big Game. Fuck?
What?
They banned Talk a Big Game. What? All right, Red and Yellow Tipple makes sense. Plume makes sense.
Germany!
They got Germany unbanned.
Florian time, let's go.
All right, so this is like basically exactly what I expected. Oh, and the unrestricted Deadwood Dirge. Fascinating. Wow. Talk a big game. Who would have thought? Wild. They did get a Leviathan ban. That's crazy. That's awesome. Well, okay, so red and yellow tipple, I think that makes sense because blue tipple kind of had plot armor in the sense that it was in the armory deck. I think I'm kind of like distracted from this game, so if I punt, that's my bad.
Where is the ban? Oh, there it is.
I think this might be a good spot my turn. But anyways, okay, so let's break down the ban list. Bonds Vanity, fuck that card. That card sucks. Tipples also probably too good. Oh, maybe we didn't need the second frostbite here. Whatever, it's probably still fine.
Good riddance to Bonds, by the way.
Yeah, good riddance to Bonds. That card blue. You'll have to give us another card here at least.
Put Florian back together, that's for sure.
Yeah, Germany coming back is interesting. Yeah, Germany coming back is interesting. So red and yellow tipple is obviously fantastic. That will mean that Marlin takes a hit, but whatever. Marlin's not even a real deck to begin with. Yeah, I will miss the red tipples and Marlin, I guess. I think blue tipple just like they put it in the armory deck, so you can't ban that. So I think that makes sense. What other cards was it? Bloom obviously makes sense. So this is like exactly the bans that I thought were gonna happen, except for Talk a Big Game, because like maybe something's cooking in the new set. I don't know.
Notably, no swallow.
That's actually hilarious that Mansant called the Leviathan ban. Well, I'm sorry, Mansant, if Levi was severely hurt by Talk a Big Game. I imagine probably not. I don't think I've ever seen a Levi list with Talk a Big Game in it. What are we doing here? Probably just block 7. Still haven't seen a CNC from them, so I probably just want to D-React here. It's actually hilarious that they hit Talk a Big Game. I wonder what the story. Wait, actually, let's see if they have a story on that. Talk a Big Game. At this juncture, we have taken on the feedback that if development believes there's a dangerous deck with potential to operate outside of acceptable perimeters, oh, was this a problem in fucking Tough Nut? A couple of loquacious heroes to run their mouth off, or maybe it's the new KO. Maybe that's what it was. Maybe Tough Nut doesn't talk all that much. Maybe it was a problem like new KO or something. Interesting. So they took like a preemptive ban. That's cool. Kudos to them. I think that they need to do that maybe a little bit more often.
I'm really curious.
Wait, oh, it's also in Pleiades, right? It's a Guardian. It's like a dual card, isn't it? Yeah, it's dual Guardian Brute. So maybe actually it was really good in like Lyeth and some other heroes, or like I don't know. Oh yeah, what does confidence do again? It's like +1 or something. +1 on attacks. Is that what confidence does? I forget. That's actually sick though, that they like broke Talk a Big Game. All right, let's hit fruits.
Good riddance.
Pulse and imposing. So yeah, I think the bans are good. I mean, like, I think that's exactly what they needed to do. I think that, like, hitting Swell was maybe a bit cope, just because, like, I think Tipple was, like, the clear problem. So I'm excited to see what, like, the new, like, toning down the ceiling of the gold generation is gonna be really interesting. I'm very excited about that. All right, last blood rush. No, but I think that set of bans is like awesome, right? Like I think I don't have a single complaint here. They took a proactive. Not only did they like do everything I thought they were going to do, they also took a proactive ban and just like banned something that was probably going to be toxic anyways. So I think that's really good. Kudos to LSS. Go ahead and waste this here. But yeah, I think that like nothing there is super unexpected except for the talk a big game thing. But like we obviously like didn't know that, right? So yeah, I'd say that's awesome. I think people were just looking for kind of I guess a way to freshen up the meta a little bit. I think that's a great way to do it. I guess blocking versus discarding doesn't really matter here. Ooh, they discarded cast bones there. So they still maybe have a couple left in the deck. Still feel like hard fatigue is basically our win con here.
Oh, I didn't even see Plume got banned.
Yeah, Plume got banned.
Did you read the part about Marlin and the Tipple thing?
Oh, I did not.
Yeah, they talk about her a bit.
This is like actually exactly what I said, right? A word to Marlin enjoyers out there. A golden tipple ban surely impacts Marlin as well, but she's a deck that needs help regardless of the existence of golden tipple. Yeah, exactly. Like this is what I've been saying for months, right? Yeah, who like I it sucks that it got banned in Marlin, sure, whatever. Like, but I think that like their reasoning there is spot on. Like, you can't just like not ban one of the best cards in the best decks because it will hit like a D tier deck, right? I think that's like poor game balancing, right?
I think Plume makes Verdance even worse in Takano than she already was.
I think Plume like needed to get banned though.
I agree. Like
I don't even think Plume changes all that much about like Verdance is still gonna like probably just like wreck all Guardians, right?
What are you running in Verdance as the headpiece now? Just like Crown?
Probably, right?
Crown and Balance, maybe?
Something like that. Sorry this game is taking a little bit longer, but I'm still processing the bans, so it's very cool. But yeah, very interesting set of bans. I think there's maybe an argument there to just like discard the fruits and just like not send the felling, but whatever. So here, maybe we're not supposed to run Remembrance in this matchup too. I think there's some sideboard mistakes here, but that's fine. Yeah, I think they'll have plenty of stuff in store for Marlin. Like I think she was already a deck that struggled a lot, so I think that I don't know, like her losing stuff is not necessarily the end of the world here.
I'm definitely rebuilding Florian. I can't wait.
I think with this set of bans though, like I think there is like a legitimate I think there's maybe a possibility that like nothing really changes all that much. Like I think that there'll be a like I still think like the best decks are ultimately still going to be pretty damn good unless like the new heroes like change up a bunch. Like I'm not saying like nothing fundamentally changes. Like I think that toning down the power level is like a very big deal, but I think like for the most part like you're probably going to still see like high Slippy representation, high like Verdance representation, high Gravy representation. Like I don't think like it nukes them out of existence by any like stretch of the imagination. This Oaken is actually like kind of bad, but I kind of want to just have something in Arsenal for the seeds because I don't think we pitched the seeds like pretty early in the game. Yeah, I feel like it's definitely a pretty big nerf to like Assassins players. Let's actually read what they said about Bonds.
It's like the same sentiment a lot of people have.
Yeah, I think it just makes sense. Oh, another no fear. I might have missed what the no fear was again. I'm sorry. Whatever. Well, I'm sure it's just a bunch of like 2 for 6s or 2 for 8s or whatever. Yeah, I think that like I think most people saw Bonds coming in terms of a ban. At least I did. That was my prediction. Um, I think it was still a pretty good prediction. Do we have any Mangles left actually? We have Mangle left. This obviously is pretty good. I don't want to like E-Strike into Mangle because that opens us up to getting flesh bagged. So I guess we just like dominate the Mangle off Tunic. I think that's fine. Oh no, we don't even have to dominate, right? So in that case, what do we do? All right, we don't have an Ice Rift card. Interesting. I guess we don't do it then. Maybe I should have blocked one more. I guess we can also like force the flesh bag out here if we want to, but I don't know. I think I'm just supposed to probably just E-Strike for 7. Do buff. Yeah, I think like ultimately Bonds was like just too hard to interact with for a lot of classes. Like you could argue that like Snag exists, whatever, sure. And I think like that's a reasonable answer to it. But the issue with Bonds was like giving it go again meant that you didn't even like have to over invest into Bonds. You could just like play another attack afterwards and then just like send all the attack reacts on that instead. Like it's basically like functional evasion. Like it's better evasion than like overpower, for instance, right? So I think it makes sense to hit this. An almost indefatigable.
That's a word.
That is a word. That's crazy. I think there is a lot of potential in Marlon's kit. I think they have the right idea there. Like, I don't even think you need red tipple for Marlon. Maybe we'll play some Marlon after this without the tipples and see how that goes. But like you're basically losing 3 cards for Marlon. I don't think that's that big of a deal. All right, we've got some good stuff going on here. Surprised we're still in this game, to be honest. But we might have just gotten them to a point where they're kind of fatiguing out. Go ahead and just block 7 here. Still haven't seen a CNC yet. Maybe that's why we're actually doing well this game. Maybe they're not running CNC. Could search for a Mangle if we wanted to. I think it's probably safer not to. I think we're just going for the fatigue angle here. I think Take Up the Mantle is actually a lot more interesting now because like now you have to like
that's what I said.
You don't have to work for it. Like you don't have to what am I trying to say? You don't have to like just get bonds every time, right? Like you have to like actually think about like what you're getting. Like maybe you get up like I guess you don't even have to think about it that much. You just get up like the Black Widow, right? And then that's like what you get basically every time. I think that's fine. Like you just don't like I think fundamentally you shouldn't have an instant speed way to take the best card out of your opponent's hand at any given like spot, or I guess reaction speed, whatever. Functionally instant speed, right? Like you shouldn't have like a attack react way to just like do that. So here we'll seeds. I think there's maybe an argument to just like not seedsing there. I may just like block 6. But I guess we still get like 3 block here, so I think it makes sense. And then we block with, I guess, the Terror here. Still have 1 more seeds coming up actually, so we should actually. I think there's a seeds literally on top of our deck. If I remember our pitch stack correctly, I think our pitch stack was seeds, CLF, seeds. So in this case, we should. I'm surprised I actually even remember that. Oh, we should have kept the Terror Sunder. That's also my bad. I guess we can still. No, that was a mistake. I should have blocked with the CLF, kept the Terror Sunder. At least I remembered that we do have that on top. But we should be coming in for 1 more here. So that's my bad.
Want to hear my fucking copium?
Yeah, what's your copium?
I think these bans make Kano really good.
I think Kano is already like pretty good.
Yeah, but I think these bans kind of make him lead in ProQuest season.
I mean, he's probably gonna leave in ProQuest season anyways, right?
Maybe it depends.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, I think he becomes like fantastic just because
I don't. Yeah, that's not even copium.
Like if Florian comes back and then Burns doesn't have access to like on demand, I can go grab the 6 arcane prevention thing and
Yeah.
Bond's gone. Then it's like, well, he's probably I think just like really solid. So I'm excited to play him a bit.
Yeah, that'll be fun. Let's go ahead and seize this.
I've been called a coper about Kano before.
Yeah. That's not even like copium though. That's just like I think that's correct, right?
I gotta turn off.
I don't really know why I'm blocking with gaunts here.
Stock swing caps thing. Hold on. I don't like that it does that. All right, I turn it off. Hopefully it should work. If it doesn't work this time, it'll work next time.
All right, let's go ahead and buy back all our fellings. Still have all 3 fellings, or no, we have 2 fellings in the bin. All right, let's make sure we pay attention to this No Fear. So we got a Rally Coast Guard, Wild Ride, Agile Wind. Okay, we do not care. A-okay with us. Yeah, I think Florian and Burns are both going to be still really good. Like, I think for Florian getting a card unbanned is really cool. I think that let me just get back an Everbloom here over anything else. I think makes sense. I don't actually think we have the support for Oaken because I guess we still have 1 Crumble left on the deck. Yeah, I think it's fine. I think we still have 1 Oaken left on the deck, right? I don't think we need an Oaken to win. We're just gonna win by Titan's Fist, I think. I think max here they can only send 9, right?
Oh really? Oh, they take place. They're effective today too.
Oh, they're effective today? Damn.
Yeah. So
sick.
That's awesome.
Well, I guess I'm cutting my tipples for Marlin. Need to find another card.
I mean, we're going to Armory Wednesday, so that's sick.
Yeah, that'll be dope. Yeah, I'm excited for the bans. I think they did a great job. I think their rationale makes sense. The cards they banned make sense. I don't think there's anything super unexpected except talk a big game. I guess for all you Levi enjoyers out there, maybe that was going to be too good, but
they're usually spot on with the bans, except for the.
Also, this is exactly what, like, look at these 2 lines. Like, this is exactly what I was talking about during the stream. I wanted them to create design space, and I wanted them to freshen up the metagame. That's all I wanted, right? And I think that these two points are what I wanted out of the ban list. I think that's like what the purpose of a BNR is, right? Is you need to keep the metagame fresh. You need to like tone down some of the top decks so that you give room to other decks. Like, I think it makes a lot of sense. Have we seen the Reckless Swing yet? I don't know if we have. We actually just like use our Tunic here if we want to. Actually, we should block with Crumble. Just do this. But like, that's exactly what I wanted out of BNR, right? It's just like, I just wanted a little bit of a refresh on the metagame, and I think that's what they did. So I'd say very good job. Oh boy, Felon coming back in. I'm surprised we're actually winning this game. I might actually play some Marlin after this without the tipples and see how that feels. Supposedly, they said in the BNR that we're getting new Marlin support, which is also kind of cool. So that's pretty sick. Yeah, let's maybe put together a Marlin list. So let me go to my like current Marlin list and see what we're doing. So we gotta cut the tipples, which means, what does that mean? So we cut these. Banned forever. I think that means big game trophy shot gets a bit better. Oh, we probably don't have the right. I know there's like if you type CNC, sometimes that comes up, right? Yeah, CNC comes up, but BGTS is maybe too new.
I knew that I just could feel that Swell was not going to get it.
I think Swell was just like always kind of cope to some extent, right? It's just like it's not the problem card. Is
like
the core issue.
It's a high upside card, but like his gold was the issue, you know?
Yeah. Wow, we actually won this game. That's kind of sick. Let's get. I think they might be off of it. Maybe just giving us a GG's. My deck is cringe. No, you can't say that about me.
Jason?
No, my deck is not cringe. No. My deck is cringe. Boo. I kind of is cringe. I'm not gonna lie. We're kind of just like playing all the D-reacts.
Tell them no, you. Your deck is actually the cringe one. My deck is based.
My deck is cringe. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. My deck's cringe. Whatever. We're allowed to play cringe decks on the channel. That's fine. It's not as cringe as the Jason Roll style Yarless, where you're actually just playing like Rampart and shit. I feel like that's a bit more cringe. And I guess we'll just sync below here. I guess we don't even need to show them the sync. Maybe we'll show them the sync because they said my deck is cringe. Boo.
Sync them.
Try to actually play the game next time. We played the game! What are you talking about? We played the game!
I mean, you were making your Marlin deck.
Okay, I guess we were looking at the BNR too. Fatigue is love, fatigue is life. That's true.
This is what super salty KO.
Life game is cool, bro. Oh god. I think they might be upsetty spaghetti.
Yeah, they should have banned tomes next time though. But that's just a theory.
I wonder how many cards we got left in there. We got 6 cards. Yeah, we fatigued quite easily. I didn't think the double blood rush was awesome, right? I wasn't even mad about that. I was like, oh shit, we got double blood rush, double beast with him. That's sick. But they might be a little bit mad, which is, I guess is reasonable. That's fine. Like whatever. We're playing a bunch of D-reacts, like playing a fatigue guardian, sure, whatever. They might have just left too. I guess we'll see. I think we won this game. Whatever. Should we concede and just give it to them?
No.
Maybe they need it. Do it on principle. The Bucks coming back would be interesting.
I would love that.
But with Kano gone?
No, they should
They should do it before.
They should print new Kano that his ability costs 1.
I think they might be doing the thing where they're like holding. Oh, okay. We have to leave the game. Cool. All right. Yeah, I was thinking about
make their day worse.
Make their day worse. I thought they played well. I don't know. I thought that was like a fine game, right? I guess they just like ran out of steam and stuff.
Gaslight Gatekeep Girl Boss.
Gaslight Gatekeep Girl Boss. Absolutely.
Do not.
All right, we're gonna play some Marlin actually now, because now I want to like experiment without the tipples and see how that feels. So I think the obvious inclusion is like big game trophy shot to make up for that. So we now have like 2 sideboard slots in Marlin. So what are we doing with those? I still kind of like the distribute. Like I still kind of like this setup here. We're running like 2 Lone Shark plus 2 Battering Bolt. I guess the question is like, what other cards would we try to make room for? Could end up running. I've seen people like experimenting with like E-Strike, which is interesting. Where do we feel in chat? I feel like obviously Dominion goes a bit down in stocks, but like I still feel like Dominion's really good. Let's look at our buffs, I guess. Pump. Does that work?
Did you say Dominion goes down?
Yeah, I feel like Crown of Dominion is still really good, but like obviously part of the reason it was like really good was because Tipple.
Well, I feel like Crown of Dominion becomes more important because you just have less gold now.
That's true. So maybe we actually trying to think how this affects Marlin. I could see maybe like Conquerors for like Ultra Fatigue matchups, but I don't even know if that's correct. So the interesting thing is now we don't really have like a Tunic outlet as much. I guess like Tunic is more so for like fixing or whatever. Run Sand Scour? That's interesting. Tell me more about that. Yeah, what are we running instead now? I guess we're getting new cards, so maybe we don't have to think about it too much. But what do I want to play today? Could also run like our tensions. Maybe we just end up running the third battering bolt and like let's have some fun today. We'll run the third battering bolts and then we'll throw the Imperial Seal Command back in the deck and see if we can have some fun.
Sandscour would be sick.
Sandscour would be dope. I kind of wish like Marlon had like an alternate bow.
I want to build a Sandscour Riptide.
Oh, I got the Marlon mirror. All right. This mirror is kind of cursed. I'm not gonna lie. This is a mirror where we definitely want just as much gold gen as possible. I think we just run in 60 like this. I think this makes sense. And then they're going... Oh, okay. They maybe don't want to play the Marlon mirror, which is completely understandable. I also am not necessarily a fan of the Marlon mirror. It's very like draw go dependent, it feels like to me, right? But I think in general, if you're going second in the Marlon mirror, you should probably just run Skullbone, because like there's a good chance you just get your gold stolen anyways. Which also is like really bad. I don't know. Like the Marlon mirror does feel quite cursed sometimes. Alright. Against the Vinny. So I think this is actually a Skullbone matchup. And I think the 60 makes sense here. Don't think there's any real reason to change anything up. That seems fine. We'll just like Arsenal pass and then force them to do something turn 1. Are we playing against someone from chat? Are we playing against AIM? Or
oh yeah,
Amy?
do you wanna hit him with the promo code or?
Oh yeah, hit him with the promo code.
In
Okay.
fact, I can do this. Check this out.
Yeah, go ahead. Use the bot.
Promo.
I actually just like want to keep this entire hand, so I think I'm just gonna pass here. I think I just want to like Arsenal the King Shark and then just like keep this. Seems good. There's maybe an argument to like pitch Sleep Dart to bow. Maybe get rid of the 2 blues or something. I'd say this is still fine. Let's go ahead and Skullbone here. What does Vincent say on her hero ability specifically? Alright, Bluefin can get bottomed. Start your turn, banish a card from your hand if you do create a rune chance. So I feel like the Sleep Dart actually... I don't know if the Sleep Dart is actually beneficial for us. Is it? Maybe it is. Maybe it's still fine. So probably still don't want to... Like there's some real threat that they have enough D-Reacts to cover this. They just need 2 plus attack plus some armor would cover. So maybe we're going to play it a little bit safe here. Yeah, the ban list is out. We kind of talked about it earlier, but I think they did a really good job. I think that this is exactly what I wanted to happen. They wanted to freshen up the metagame, open up design space, and I think the way they did that made a lot of sense. I think that everything here makes sense. Talk about game, obviously unexplained until we see the set, obviously, but it's good to see they're taking proactive bans as well. So they did a fantastic job. I'm super excited. I think that it'll freshen up CC a bit, which is always great. I think every ban that they covered made a lot of sense. So yeah, super excited about it. Alright, we don't get to hit here, unfortunately, but that's fine. So we just... is this even good for them? It's fine. Go ahead and just Arsenal Sleep Dart, which you can play off Tunic plus Sea Lace. And then, what else are we doing on our turn? Banishing Succumb. Arsenaling Oblivion? Feels pretty... Or maybe they're pitching the Oblivion to the Blood Rot. That actually might be a better play. Oh, they're IPing with the Oblivion. Interesting, interesting. Okay, weird. So let's start with the Sea Lace. This is actually going to be really awkward. We might just... Maybe we're actually supposed to Skullbone there. Sorry, let's actually undo. We can still undo here because there's no new information. So let's actually Skullbone, since the go again here doesn't actually matter. Lone Shark, I think, is a good draw. Let's keep that on top. Then we can just pump Lace, shoot him with the Sleep Dart. And then if they want to take our Portside Exchange out of our hand, that's fine. Yeah, Vincent would take... Would they take Blood Debt? I don't think the Blood... How does Blood Debt work? Hold on, let me read Blood Debt. So I don't think that affects Blood Debt, right? Like, the Rune Gate is on the card itself, so the Sleep Dart only is preventing the banish from hand, which actually might be beneficial for them if they want to, like, keep an arsenal. Who knows? But yeah, could end up actually being beneficial for them because they don't have to banish now. But I guess they also wouldn't get a rune chant. So maybe that's actually fine for us. Alright, arsenaling port side is actually quite nice because we know we're drawing into the Loan Shark. So they don't banish here, which is great. They have the Dirge, which is fine. Can they Dirge? They control this, right? They don't own it, but they control it. So they actually Dirge the Blood Rod here, which is kind of sick. I wonder if they're going to see it, though. Yep, they saw it. All right, nice. Sick. So what's our play next turn? We Loan Shark, port side. Super awkward. Kind of almost just want to like block out here and then play play the Loan Shark or something. Good Sunken Treasure, actually. So I think what I kind of like doing is just setting up the Loan Shark this turn. I think I like taking a turn off into them. Let's go ahead and take an off turn here, because there's like some amount of risk in this hand that we don't draw like an actual good threat. We'll skip the 2 runes. So we're going to be taking some damage here, but that's fine. They'll get to like reset up the rune chance, but they already had plenty to begin with anyways. I think here this makes sense. The nice thing about Sunken Treasure is they're also not banishing like face up, so that they don't get to like they don't get the opportunity to like play it out of banish or whatever. Blessing of Occult's an interesting one. I don't think I've seen that one in Vincent in a while. I think it's just gonna be a Loan Shark pass. And then we have Portside Exchange next turn to load. Say we're in a good spot. I think we're just drawing towards like our Codex and our Sunken Treasure and stuff. Alright, Malefic. I think we're going to try to make our best effort to just keep the whole hand here, because we can still send a Redfin Harpoon with a gold tip on it. So I think I like that play. We can also Portside Exchange, do some stuff. I think there's a lot of good options this hand. We're going to be taking a bit of damage here, though. Which is fine. Lots of Malefics on the field. They have Succumb. Good beats, but I don't think we really need to play around Succumb. Alright, so let's start with the Skullbone. We get to Portside Exchange now. King Kraken's fantastic, so we'll hold on to that one. And then let's start with the Marlin, and then we'll Portside Exchange, refresh our gold, draw the Kraken. I don't even think it's a Marlin funeral stream. If anything, this ban has made me a little bit more excited to play Marlin. Because we're not even playing Tipple in this deck anymore. I think obviously it does hurt Marlin. That sucks. I think that Tipple was a pretty good card in Marlin. The problem, so thinking about it, the Tipple ban does actually hurt quite a bit, just because you do need that card in the gravy matchup, just for like clearing allies and stuff. So maybe like Swell takes the place of that. I'm not entirely sure. But I don't think that Marlin is like a dead deck. I think that supposedly she's getting support from the new set, which is cool. I still want to play Marlin, so I think that overall I'm not too upset about the Tipple ban. It's obviously going to like hurt Gravy as well, so I think I'm overall fine with that. Unfortunately, we have on the King Kraken again. We have twice on our Harpoons, which is kind of funny. But we're still doing like a ton of damage, so I think it's still fine. Refresh our gold for the Loan Shark as well. Alright, Rio, fantastic. So we saw an Eloquent Eulogy plus another Deathly Will in their hand. So we don't have Succumb here, which is nice. So we can just skip all this. Yeah, like I think Marlin still has like a lot of good stuff going on with her. Like, I'm not like doing a Marlin by any stretch of the imagination. I think she's gonna be like maybe a little bit worse off, but not like substantially. I don't think. Like losing Tipple, you're losing 3 of your better cards in the deck. But I think that your effect might be a bit replaceable at least. I'm kind of surprised they didn't pull Tunic for the eulogy. Oh, I guess they had 2 eulogies. I guess that kind of makes sense. Maybe they didn't want to arsenal the other one. We'll go ahead and take some damage here. I think it's fine. But yeah, I don't think it's a Marlin funeral stream. I think she's still gonna be fine. I think there's also maybe an argument to like do this, but I guess it doesn't even block out the eulogy, does it? So they're only on 1 chant now, which is also nice. They do still have the vexing though, which maybe is a little bit annoying. Maybe a little bit vexing. Let's go ahead and gold. I think we're gonna just try to dig a bit this turn. Ooh, that is a nice draw. Fantastic. So we can Marlin Big Game Trophy Shot. I think it's made Big Game Trophy Shot a lot better because there was like a little bit of clunkiness between the Big Game Trophy Shots and the Tipples a lot of the time. So if anything, that's maybe made Big Game Trophy Shot a bit better in Marlin. All right, let's go ahead and 3 Oak. King Kraken's fantastic, and we also get to maybe Arsenal a take game. Marlin still does like strong things. Like I think she's still very viable. I don't know. We'll need to refigure out the gravy matchup. Also, we should probably gold baited hook, right? I mean, we're not guaranteed to hit here, but we're kind of guaranteed to hit. It's gonna be a big arrow. We're coming for 17, I think. It's pretty good. Yeah, we're trying to save a bit of money here, just so we can like move back to Portland at some point. But yeah, so we're kind of like not going to events for a little bit, which is fine. We could. I think there's going to be some events later this year. We'll try to make it to like probably closer to the West Coast. But yeah, like for now, I don't think we have any real plans. Tegan, maybe correct me if I'm wrong.
We were talking about calling Seattle, but like it depends on when we move. We're thinking like beginning of next year's.
Maybe Worlds, maybe. Wilson's vet bills have also been kind of a little bit of a damper in that plan. So, still trying to take care of our cats and stuff. TLDR thoughts on bans. I think they're really good. I think that nothing's unexpected except talk a big game, and I think overall it's gonna refresh the metagame a bit, which is good. I don't think that any of the decks that are affected by the bans are now like unplayable. Also, we've like whiffed on every harpoon, which is hilarious. Like I think like the bans make a lot of sense. They're communicated well. They're gonna be impactful. I'd say absolutely no complaints from me. All right. Yep, that's fine. The widespread is annoying. We actually kind of block it though, if we really wanted to. We have a 0 cost we can really get back. Get like a sleep dart back if we really wanted to. So what is the chance that we actually block this out? I think semi-real. We can block with the... Actually, like pull Tunic Codex, block 6, and then take game, flip, make a gold to tip it. That's actually not bad, right? I think that actually might be okay. There's also like argument to just like losing the arsenal here, but I think taking them off tempo makes a bit of sense. But yeah, I think they did a really good job on the bans. I'm excited. I think that Tipple ban is unfortunate for Marlin, but like I think they explained it pretty well in the BNR that like I think that not nerfing the best deck in the format so that you can like leave Marlin untouched is kind of silly, and like Marlin I think needs more support from where she is anyways, so I would say it's not even that bad. So let's start. We start with a Marlin, and then we can take game, load the Goldfin, turn it face up, make a gold, and then gold baited hook this. That can go on the bottom. We're just trying to dig towards our 3 oaks now. So refresh the gold baited hook, and then send in the harpoon. Yeah, Marlin was playing Tipples, not the yellow ones, but the red ones. The red ones were pretty much in most Marlin decks, at least from what I've seen. But yeah, I think the bans are really good. I think they did a really good job. I'm excited about it. Yeah. I think that we may have to adjust our game plan into Gravy as Marlin specifically. Like maybe we actually have to run Swells just for Gogan. I've played with Swells before in Marlin, and they're actually not that bad. It's just like sometimes you whiff on it, which obviously is pretty feels bad. Yeah, I encourage you to read the article. I think that banning anything other than the tipples didn't really make a lot of sense because you're kind of just like banning around the problem as opposed to banning the problem. Like the problem is how much gold the deck was generating, right? Um, so that was like the fundamental problem in the deck. But like if you ban anything around the tipples, it's like you're just kind of banning the like cards that support the tipples, which gets awkward, and then you can just like always find new cards to support the tipples. I don't know. There's like a lot of like weird clunkiness to not banning tipple. I think that makes sense. Yeah, banning tipple I think is really good. I'd say I'm very excited about it. All right, we get another gold here, which is great. Still sitting on all of our armor too, which is nice. So I think we're gonna have like one or two more turns of just like blocking out here. Oh, Codex is a nice draw. They just go for a Cull here. So they play this at instant speed. What does this say? If hero has lost life this turn, you may play as over an instant. So we actually want to just block out, so we're trying to get them to kill themselves with Blood Debt. So yeah, I think here we're blocking with what? I think we're blocking with armor here, realistically. So they take Blood Debt, they go to 1. We block. Maybe just block 6 here, Arsenal the Codex. Maybe that makes a bit more sense. Could also, like, activate Marlin so that we're discarding to the Lone Shark just so we're saving ourselves 2 life. I think that makes a fair bit of sense. But yeah, I'm excited about the bans. I think they did a really good job.
I think banning Chum is too much.
I also kind of thought that banning Chum was a little bit too much. I'm curious to see if Chum is still going to be a problem. I definitely think that Chum was kind of on the watch list a little bit, at least. So if they can't play out this Cull this turn, I guess they can play it off the Eloquence, right? They can play it, give it go again. So they should always be able to play out Cull here. I guess the question is, are they going to be able to like kill us from 10? I don't know if that's true. So yeah, I think we're going to have to, as Marlin, adjust our gravy plan a bit. So like, actually what I'm kind of thinking now is, I do like the big game trophy shot. Maybe we cut the Imperial Seal Command and the battering bolts, and what we maybe do is just bring in like 2 swell on the sideboard. Like 2 red swell to help deal with gravy, I think makes a bit of sense. Alright, popping the Vexing for widespread. Seems good. Ooh, Dirge as well. So I think it's going to be another one of those blockout turns against Vincent. So interesting, they ate the Eloquence there, which means that they think they're going to be able to force through damage here. Okay, I guess they can kind of, well, even the overpower doesn't really help. I guess they give it go against now they can Cull on the back end. I guess that makes sense. But I guess the Cull isn't even good here. Like, they just have to play it for no value. They should have, I feel like the sequencing here was awkward. Keep AB1. Yeah, some interesting sequencing. So now their Cull doesn't even do anything. Oh, right, because we can't block with that. So their Cull will still do something, right? So I guess we just give them armor now, and that's fine. Yeah, this is fine. They Cull our C4 salvage. We don't really care. There's maybe some argument to just like letting them hit with that because they're gonna get go again on this functionally anyways. So the Germany unban is interesting because I don't actually know how much that matters. So one concerning thing about the Germinate unban is I guess like how is Guardian going to be viable? Wait, don't they just die to Blood Debt here? I think they needed to play that, right? Oh, yeah, good game. Maybe like they play it and then they're still not doing super well. Like what do they draw into? They draw into basically a hand that dies to Blood Debt anyways. Yeah, it's pretty rough. I think that they maybe just had like a bad set of draws there. Unfortunate. I think our draws were pretty good though. So let's go back and talk about Marlins. I think I actually like maybe bringing in the saltwater swells as just another source of go again into like gravy, because I feel like gravy's still going to be pretty prevalent. Kind of like the idea of swells. I feel like the sideboard still feels largely pretty good. Oh, that was you. Hello. That was a little bit unfortunate. I think you just had some bad draws that game. I think that I will say like the Vincent matchup feels pretty good for this deck just because you're running a lot of blues. Like you have you get hit by both the King Kraken and the King Shark. Although you did a really good job of like playing around both of those effects that game, so that was pretty awesome. But yeah, thanks for the game. Appreciate it. So yeah, I'm thinking about Marlin now. I think the Souls make sense. I think the additional big game trophy shot makes sense. Like I don't think Marlin actually loses all that much from the Tipple ban. Yeah, for sure. So yeah, I think this is maybe what my Marlins looks like for now. Like maybe we need one more swell, and then maybe we cut down on like an extra tar pit trap. I could actually see that. Let's maybe do that because I feel like 3 tar pit is maybe a little bit redundant now. Especially if Slippy is getting a nerf, maybe he sees a drop in representation, and maybe that's fine. This is kind of what I'm thinking about. Obviously, maybe there's a new Marlin card, and maybe we slot that in somewhere as well. Yeah, I think this makes sense for now. What's our time looking like? We got 40. We've been doing like an hour 45. Let's run one more and see how it goes. But yeah, we're gonna try it without Tipple. I think the ban is effective immediately, right?
Effective today, yeah.
Yeah, effective today. So if you're going to Armory, be careful. You cannot play your red and yellow Tipples or your Bonds of Agony. So imagine the Florians are going to be out in full force. Playing against Kasai. First or second? I think I still like going second against Kasai. And then we'll run... I think just our normal package. I think the King Krakens are good. Let's run the Battering Bolts. Definitely the big game trophies, and then maybe like one extra buff. We'll run it like this. I think this makes sense. Matchup's a bit tougher. Yeah, you better find some chaff to fill your gravy deck with, because I think it is banned literally today. But I think these bans are good. I like them. Big fan. Nothing unexpected except for the big game or the talk a big game, which is very cool. I kind of want to actually like hear the story behind that.
Talk a big game trophy shot.
Talk a big game trophy shot. I think we will try to filter here. Sure. That's a win. So now if they want to attack, I think that's fine. Manset called the ban. Did he? He called it a Levi ban. I don't know if he called that specific ban. Maybe he knows more than we do though. Alright, so that's kind of spooky. They're threatening some copper now. Threatening 3 copper. So we'd have to give him like Sea Lace if we want to here. Or no, we'd have to give him even more. We have to give him like Sea Lace plus the gold baited hook. Brutal. That's fine though. Take 5 here. Not the end of the world. Start with a decent amount of copper, but I don't know if there's a ton we could have done about it. Actually, there's hold on. Sorry, there's a better block here. I think the better block was actually block 3 on the other saber. Okay, maybe I didn't see the undo. That's fine. So yeah, I think the better play was actually block 3 on this, obviously. Okay, so we'll live with our decisions here. We get to Loan Shark at least. Then we can gold the tip, gold bait hook, and send in the bluefin. Seems fine. But yeah, we definitely should have blocked 3 on the ladder saber there, just so we're denying the extra 2 copper, because now we basically give him the full blood on our hands for free, basically. Unfortunate. Fortunately, they didn't get any yellows in the bin, so that's at least something that's going for us. But yeah, we definitely made a little minor misplay there. Oh, they're running balance as well, which is pretty rough. My uncle works at Manson and told me that he called it. That's hilarious. Alright, Gulbait Hook. Double Seduce Secrets. Okay, sure. What are we doing here? So they seduce secrets, they don't draw a card, and they arsenal the other one? Are we fine with that? Probably, right? I guess we can like block with a battering bolt, try to draw towards some blues or something. I feel like we want to block with it just so we can codex, right? So imagine they look at our hand here. If we draw a buff, that even works out too, maybe? Draw a buff, it's actually unfortunate. But this is still fine. So we'll start by cracking a gold. Oh, 3-Oak's fantastic. Or is it? No, 3-Oak's still good, because we can Marlin now, Codex, get the battering bolts, and then 3-Oak, and this works out perfectly. Or maybe not. That's unfortunate. So in this case, we can't now Hammerhead. We have 2 gold we can cycle through if we want to try to hit 2 blues. But it's only +4 damage. I feel like the value on that's like pretty poor. So I feel like in that case, what we should just do is just like pitch the King Kraken plus the pre-med and Arsenal Trophy Shot. A little bit unfortunate draw there. But maybe we get a decent number of blocks here. Like if we get 3 blocks, I think I'm happy with that. I think if we hit any blue there off the top, we would have been able to send Hammerhead. Oh, are you talking about Verdance? Yeah. Verdance definitely eating a ban might hurt her a bit. I still feel like Verdance might be pretty good.
And I were talking about Verdance and how he said that Majin was just taking the H pots out of the deck and playing it almost like the Lander entirely.
I guess we maybe should discard a big game trophy shot if we knew we were drawing another, but that's fine. Oh, this hand is nasty. We can big game trophy shot, lace, take game 3-Oak, and just YOLO. We got some gold to work with, so I think that makes sense. We're also gonna have Tunic up. Potentially looking like a scary turn from them though. Maybe not though. Just trot along on Centauri. I don't think we care about this, right? We could obviously give them the gold-rated hook, but they're gonna send another Centauri anyway, so I guess it doesn't really matter. And we might even steal the gold back here. So let's start with the Marlin Trophy Shot. Draw another card here. Codex, huh? Oh, we can take aim the Codex. Oh, this is fantastic. No, this is great. So we take aim the Codex. We lace Tunic 3-Oak. Fantastic. Now we can do this and then Codex. Get the battering bolt. And then the gold baited hook does not matter. Does not matter. So we shouldn't do it. It's battering bolt for 20. I mean, it's battering bolt. I guess it's fine. But like, I don't know. I feel like battering bolt is just like so lackluster in a lot of Marlin decks, just because like it's basically just goad, right? Like you're just forcing your opponent. Like I'd rather almost this just have been like a normal harpoon, like a King Kraken or something. It's still fine, but like I don't know. It basically just means we time walk them, which is also fine, I guess. But like I feel like we're never like we might hit with this, but we're never getting like value off of it. Yeah, Verdance is still going to be really good, I think. I think that you maybe have to adjust the build a bit But yeah, it's gonna be interesting. All right, we got a fate, maybe another react here or something. If we're getting armor here, I'm also kind of happy with that. Unless we're making the argument that D-reacts are interaction, which seems like a Joker pilled argument to make. That's a sentence. I feel like D-reacts are kind of... I kind of agree with you, though. I don't know if D-reacts are necessarily the best interaction. God, if Battering Bolt was a harpoon, I guess it wouldn't even change anything, right? It would still be okay, I guess. But, like, I guess we basically just time walk them. We draw a drop in the anchor, though. I guess it's fine. So now we're going to send another harpoon here. So we start with the drop. We refresh the gold. Oh, no, I guess we need some way to... We need to make a harpoon. How are we making a harpoon and also loading the harpoon, I guess is the question. Can we? We need to draw something, right? It's so weird. I guess maybe we were supposed to, like, just arsenal the sleep dart, depending on what we draw. Oh, port side. Does port side change anything? Oh, port side means we can make this... No, port side works. So we pass here, make a gold, port side a gold the tip, right? And we load this. Or we can even port side the sleep dart if we want to. Port side the sleep dart, draw a random card, gold the tip, make 2 golds, and then just send a big harpoon. I think that makes sense. And they do have to block this if they want to avoid giving us some extra gold. But I think this is probably going to be the last game for today. But yeah, I'm excited about the bans. I think they're really cool. I think it's pretty much exactly what I would have banned. Aside from the obvious card that I did not see coming, which is Talk a Big Game. Deadwood Dirge being unrestricted in LL is also interesting. Probably makes Chain a bit better for Worlds. Alright, get to steal their gold, which is great. Alright, another Kasai. Tome is also scary. Yeah, we might be eventually losing because of the copper gen here. I think that we probably did make a mistake on turn 1 in not blocking that second saber. So I imagine we'll probably be paying for that at some point soon. Alright, coming in for 3. I think we say no blocks here, just so we're not giving them free go again. I guess they have to go again anyways, but that's fine. Pretty much always going to make a gold here, I think. Codex is also a little bit awkward here. There might be a merit to just keeping the hand just so we have enough resources to play everything. I don't know. Get the Vigor token made. Ooh, hit and run's nice. So now they can come in for 7 on the back. It's pretty good. 8 on the back. Okay, even better. What are we doing? I think we need to keep at least one of these harpoons, but blocking doesn't even really help us because we're only blocking 2 functionally. So maybe keeping this for pitch is actually reasonable. Because pitch means that we are very likely to sack less gold than we would otherwise have to. I guess it also means we don't get a harpoon in the bin, but that's probably fine. So let's start by cracking some gold with the 2 harpoons, I think. Alright, draw blue, which is great. Now we can Codex. Let's grab, I guess, our bolts. And then Gold Bait Hook doesn't do anything. Just in for 13 again. Keep trying to strip their hand if we can. Where do I think the meta goes post BNR? I don't actually think it moves all that much. Like, maybe Slippy gets worse, Gravy gets worse, Burdens gets worse. But I honestly maybe even think that those are still like the best decks, which is kind of crazy. All right, so last card in hand is Unsheathed. That's fine. Like, I think those decks are still crazy good. Like, I don't think the ban does all that much. So +3, if greater than twice its base. So we can easily block this, right? Just block with Gold Bait Hook plus Centauri. I guess we don't even need to really block the Gold Bait Hook, right? There's no on-hit that's being threatened here. Maybe we don't. Maybe we're actually not supposed to block with the Sunken. Turn over a yellow, which has some value. Not super in love with this. I feel like maybe we were just supposed to hold the Sunken. So maybe some play we can do where we like double arrow this turn, because we do have the take aim. So we can like take aim, load the sleep. Maybe load the hamstring shot first, and then we sea lace, crack gold, load sleep dart pre-med. Something like this. Let's try this and see how it goes. So we pitch the Sunken. Now we can reload the sleep dart and send it on the back or something. And they'll have to block all of it to deny the ponder. Still feel like we're probably in bad shape this game just because of the copper mistake we made turn 1. But I think that's fine. Yeah, like, I think the meta still stays largely the same. Like, I don't think it really goes too much different from what we've seen before. Like, maybe the new heroes shake it up a bit, which would be ideal, obviously. Oh, does hamstring shot your first attack during their next? So does that count weapon attacks? I think it does, right? Let's crack a gold here just so we can fire off a sleep dart. Oh, 3-oak is interesting. Is that better? Maybe we should 3-oak instead. Let's use our tunic. The tunic seems wasteful here, but I think it makes a bit of sense. So unfortunately, we did kind of waste it, but we didn't know we were drawing into like the perfect hand here. All right, so we get to crack balance. Did we make a gold this turn? We did not, right? So what's our over/under on hitting here? I feel like our odds of hitting here are semi-high. We take reacts out of their hand, that's also a pretty big deal. I'm gonna get risky with it. We could get punished for this, but I think it's maybe worthwhile. Like, I think there's gonna be a lot more room for other decks, but like, Betsy's still unplayable. Guardian as a whole, like, I don't think Valda even really gets much better, right? Like, I feel like a lot of Guardian's bad matchups are still gonna be there, so I'm a little bit confused, I guess, like Florian's terrible for Guardian, Verdance is terrible for Guardian, Gravy's pretty damn bad for Guardian. Like, I'm kind of wondering how much the meta actually changes up, unless there's like a top deck that also loses to Guardian. Maybe. We'll have to see with the new heroes. Like, it's too early to say, but it does definitely feel like if they're printing a bunch of new Guardians, they're printing a bunch of new Brutes. Maybe those will still struggle, but I'm not sure. Oh, we get to rip the gold. Fantastic. Oh, we take the blood on our hands too? Yeah, I think that's the play, right? Has to be. Alright, that's what we needed. So now we Arsenal. Drill Shot's probably better to Arsenal. Oh, this hand needs help. So they still get to draw swords this turn, but it's definitely better than them hitting the blood on our hands. Oh, they drew it off the top? No! Damn. Ruined. Oh, that's terrible. Oh, God. Alright, we got owned. That's fine. I should have taken the draw sword so they can't draw another blood on our hands. Damn. Punished. Does aggro rise in response to the bans? Maybe. That's a strong maybe. Like, I feel like Syndra's still got her own issues. Instance that block is very strong, cool. Yeah, I agree. Oh yeah, like the new Guardian instance. Yeah, that's true. I think that's a good point. All right. So unfortunately, we got punished here, but that's fine. I guess. Wait. How do they pay for this? Don't they have to still swing for the swords? Am I missing something? Didn't they have to pitch for the saber?
They drew a card off a draw swords.
Oh, they drew a card off draw swords. Sorry, what did they pitch for? Did they pitch for something? Because they had a bigger token. What did they pitch for? Am I losing my mind? This costs
Draw
0.
swords cost.
Well, no, they had a bigger token at the start of the turn, right?
Yeah, it looks like they overpitched.
Oh, maybe they overpitched it? I'm confused. I thought they had a bigger token for the draw swords.
Doesn't draw swords cost more than one?
It does, no, it costs 3, but what I'm saying is they had a bigger plus a yellow.
They could have pitched the draw swords.
Maybe there wasn't a bigger token, maybe I'm imagining it. Who knows? Yeah, we're gonna be taking some damage here. Yeah, I thought for some reason I thought they had a bigger token to start the turn. But maybe they didn't. Maybe I'm imagining the bigger. So we go to 1 here, and then we just try to YOLO. What threats do we have left in the deck? We have all of our codexes gone. We have all our 3 oaks gone. A lot of our buffs are also gone. I feel like we just need to capitalize here, though. Let's get rid of our tunic because it's served us up until this point, so I think this is fine. Yeah, we might be in trouble here. But let's start with the Sea Lace. I guess we can, like, drill shot to start off. I think this makes sense. Because we want to eye with the gold, ideally. So we need to get this out of Arsenal. Yeah, for some reason I thought they had, like, a bigger token to start their turn. And then they wouldn't need to pitch there. I said block with 2 armor. That's good. Let's go ahead and start cracking our gold here. Port side plus Redfin. Is that helpful? Port side does represent another look, but I feel like we don't actually need another look here. Like maybe we just rather draw like a buff or something. All right, let's keep looking, I think. We need like a pump here to win, I think. If we don't hit a pump, then unfortunate. I guess we just do the Redfin then. Maybe that's greedy, but I think we need to do something to win here. If we can connect with this Redfin, it actually might be pretty good. Yeah, I think they didn't have a vigor, and they just probably pitched for the draw swords with the red. Maybe that's what it was. Maybe it was just a vigor hallucination. Happens all the time. If we get 2 reds out of them here, though, I guess I'm pretty happy with that. Problem with the Sea Lace is that we probably are going to need to block with this turn, so like arsenaling the drill shot feels really bad. Alright, we get to steal gold though. And we have a choice between, or I guess we don't really have a choice here, hit and run and slice and dice are the 2 cards. But they don't have go again though. Or I guess they have go again off the hit and run kind of. Sure. I think we're still in a bit of trouble here. Baking trophy shot could be good. So they just double swing here. We block with a blue. So we get 3 go again into 2 go again. We go to 1. I guess maybe we should make them Brave Forge so that we want to give them a blue block anyways. So maybe we let this hit. Because I think I want to force them to Brave Forge here. Because we're going to block with the seafloor anyways. Oh, maybe, no, they can't see, they didn't draw a card, right? So they need to pitch to this anyway. So I guess it's still the same. So in this case, we want to block with the seafloor. We big game trophy shot, discard the sleep dart, hope to draw blue, drill shot, go again. I still don't think this wins. But that's fine. We made some mistakes this game. So let's start with the drill. Which I guess at least forces the dynamo out. think this is fine. But yeah, looking like a loss here. I think we just made a couple misplays, and then also this matchup is just pretty bad in general. I feel like we did have some pretty good turns, though. We hit a blood on our hands. If they didn't redraw into another one, I think that would actually been pretty huge for us. So now we can close chain, Marlin, draw blue, don't draw blue. Crap. In that case, should probably just pitch the lace, reload, fire. Does force at least one card out of the hand. So that is good for us. But yeah, I'm not super hopeful this game. I think if we draw blue there... I mean, I guess it doesn't really matter that we drew a red, right? Because we had a blue in hand anyways. We just don't discard that, and we have a lace in our deck. I guess it doesn't really matter, right? So what threats do we still have left in the deck? We have one pre-med left. We have a couple big harpoons left. And then we have one big game trophy shot. That's pretty much it. We're putting up a pretty good fight, at least. I can see Kasai and Acilio doing a bit better. I don't know how much better they're going to be doing, but like maybe a little bit more. So can we beat anything here? I feel like the answer to that is no, so we should just give the sea lace here. If they pump like in any way, shape, or form, we're not going to be able to do anything. So in this case, now we can sunk in here, turn over just a random yellow from them. We're putting up a good fight, but we do have some work ahead of us. So let's start with the gold cracking. Draw king kraken. Does this do it? I guess the question is, like, can we do better than this? I don't know that we necessarily can. I guess let's see, maybe? Is there a low risk way to do this? Because if we draw a red, like our deck is majority blues at this point, right? I guess like the upside is we draw a pre-med and then maybe that kills them. So maybe it's pretty low risk to look, actually. Okay, so now we have the option. So we need to draw one more blue here, and then we're in business. Perfect. All right. I think it's the best it's gonna get. So now I mean, the gold bait hook doesn't do anything, but in the case that they full block something, whatever, then maybe this is fine. But I think it's the best we can do. Oh, they're giving us a good game. Do we got it here? Oh, we got it! Oh, that was a fucking game. Holy shit. Alright, I did not expect to win that game. I thought we were pretty cooked there, but we had like the perfect set of draws to like end it out. Wow, that was incredible. I was not expecting to win the game. That was sick. All right. Anyways, I think that's probably gonna wrap it up for today. So we played some Marlin and some Jarl. So let's go over the ban restrictive one last time for folks who weren't initially there. So let's go one by one. Bonds of Agni. Everyone fucking hates that card. Fuck that card. Glad it's banned. Everyone's sick of that card. Red and yellow Tipple, I think makes sense. You can't really ban blue Tipple because it's in the Armory deck, which would make the new player experience pretty bad. I think leaving Gravy with blue Tipple makes a lot of sense. I fully kind of expect that. Also, interesting, I want to read this part. In the early days of TCGs, and indeed persisting to the present in some minds of publishers, bans were often treated as a scarlet letter that designers and developers were forced to wear, signaling they failed at their jobs. While Flesh and Blood may be inspired by classic TCGs, also... I don't think bans are a scarlet letter. Like, I think from a player perspective, especially when you're banning things that have like been in the format for a while, that kind of like contribute to negative game experiences, I don't think bans are that bad. I think that I'd rather it be a situation where they don't, like, what I'd prefer, honestly, is that they ban like a lot more frequently and make the metagame fresh and stuff like that, as opposed to like just having a toxic metagame and just like sitting on it for a while. So I understand like this it's a feels bad from like a developer's perspective, right? Because it means like you failed, right? But like it also is showing that you're growing and like you're like yeah, the pre-med out was also like nasty there. But it shows that you're like growing as like a developer. So like I don't know. I'd rather them take action as opposed to like being afraid to take action, I guess is what I'm saying. So like I think that like I don't know, these adjustments all make a lot of sense. Let's talk. So red and yellow tipple, I think you just needed to like decrease the amount of gold that Gravy was making. I think that makes a lot of sense, and Gravy's still going to be really good. Plume of Evergrowth, I think that Verdance was positioned to be like just a very good deck. So hitting Plume makes a lot of sense. They don't really mention Jarl with Plume, which I think is reasonable. Like I don't think a ton of Jarlists run Plume, but it does definitely hurt Jarl a little bit. And like Verdance just having like the kill on demand, even with like 2 rampant growth, feels pretty bad. I think it makes sense. Like I think that having just like this super indefeatable endgame for Verdance is like a really bad like play experience. BNR akin to gameplay. Yeah, it's like gameplay patches, right? Like you just like sometimes you just like even if something's not like a super big problem, like I think Gravy is an issue and it's like format warping, but like you can argue at the high levels that maybe it's not actually that bad of a deck to play against. But like I think it's boring to just have the top decks be the top decks for a while, and I think what this ban does is it still leaves the top decks largely kind of untouched. Like I think Slippy probably took the biggest hit from this, but like I think Slippy's still playable. I think Gravy's still playable. I think Verdance is still playable. So like I don't actually think those decks lose a ton from this. Like they obviously like lose some of their strongest cards, right? But like for the most part, like these are gonna still be probably highly represented decks. So I don't actually think that this is that bad. But yeah, I think all these bans make sense. And then Talk a Big Game obviously surprised. I know a lot of people were like expecting a Germinate unban. And I think it made sense to ban it originally because Stack Florian was like a very good deck at the time. I think that like it maybe made sense to just take away Germinate because it like preyed on slow decks. I think that now it does. It's like fine. I think Germinate can go back in the game if it boosts Florian up. I think that's fine. Maybe if they have to readdress it, that's also maybe fine. But I don't think Germinate's like all that bad of a ban. It's interesting. They banned Talk a Big Game also in Blitz, which is kind of wild. That is kind of crazy. So I'm wondering what the Talk a Big Game was for. Choose a number. The next time you deal that much or more damage to your hero this turn, create that many might tokens. So when does this become ban-worthy? If it's like a 0 for 6, is that ban-worthy? Like a 0 for 6 blue? That's probably ban-worthy, right? So if that's the case, they have some way that they're dealing a ton of damage. It's maybe Eliath nerfed, obviously. Or maybe it's like Eliath KO nerf or something like that. I could see that being the case. Like you just have some way to give like a ridiculous... What does Eliath say? Let's actually look that up. Eliath. The base of everything is halved. You can tap it, the crowd boos you. Defending action cards you control. Defending action cards you control get +1 this turn. Whenever the crowd boos you, create a might. So this doesn't really have any like evasion on it. What does the new KO say though? Oh, not cow. Let's do KO. So new KO. Start with 1 equipment zone. Target attack action you control has base 6 power. Wherever the crowd boos you, create a vigor token. Yeah, it honestly might either. So like, let's actually go back to the VNR. So what they were saying about Talk a Big Game was that with the release of Super Slam, Talk a Big Game would allow a couple of loquacious heroes to run their mouth off a bit too much. In this case, we've chosen preemptive action. This to me indicates that they're talking about like reviled heroes, like loquacious, like they're booing, they're like talkative, right? That's loquacious.
Well, it's a pun on Talk a Big Game.
Oh, that's what it was.
Yeah.
Okay, so maybe it's just like it could be anything, right? I guess like maybe all the heroes are maybe running. Okay, I guess that makes sense. Maybe they're referencing Talk a Big Game. I thought they were referencing like the booing and the cheering or something. So I guess maybe it just was running everything. Maybe that's what it was. Live's chart can unhalf stuff at instant speed for Live. Oh, that maybe is interesting. So they Talk a Big Game and then they like unhalf everything. That's pretty cool. Yeah, but all in all, I'd say that these bans make sense. I think they're going to freshen up the CC metagame. And yeah, I think that's super exciting. All right, I think it's probably going to wrap it up today. So I played a little bit of Jarl and Marlin. Still going to have to tweak these decks, obviously, with the new information from the BNR. But I think that these are still largely to be expected. We cut Plume from Jarl for the express purposes of, like, we're expecting it to get banned. So that is unfortunately going to hurt, like, some of the more fun Jarl decks. But, like, I don't think it's going to nerf Jarl all that much. Yeah, thanks for stopping by the stream. I think Marlin is obviously also going to take a little bit of hit from the Tipple, but I think, like, Marlin's still pretty solid. I don't know. I still like the deck. I think that big game trophy shot gets a bit better now that Tipple's banned. So we'll try that. And yeah, I still kind of like this current shell. Maybe we'll get some new support from the new set. Who knows? Yeah, but thank you all for watching. We'll be back later this week with some more gameplay and stuff. Maybe talk a little bit more about the bans. But yeah, overall, I'd say I'm very happy with bans. And yeah, excited to play some more CC. So yeah, thank you all for watching. I'll see you all next time. And yeah, kudos for now.